Hey lovelies! If you want to start your day with something nutritious, delicious, and really portable, then I've got 3 words for you. Healthy granola cookies. Okay, healthy-ish. All of these delicious cookies pack all the goodness of granola except on the go. The best part is they can be made in advance, they're super easy, and are completely gluten and dairy free. What is not to like about that? Now for each of these cookie recipes, I am going to be using the very same base. We have 5 ingredients we're going to be combining in our bowl, and it all starts with some mashed banana. Of course, the riper your bananas are, the sweeter your cookies are going to be, so this is a great place to use very ripe bananas. We're just going to add 2 to our bowl and give them a quick mash with a potato masher. Now, I know there are some banana haters out there, and every time I use bananas in a recipe, I get asked in the comments what you can substitute with. In this case, some applesauce would work really well, or even some pumpkin puree also would work really well. They're gonna add a lot of body and a lot of texture to these. Once our bananas are mashed, we can go ahead and add some smooth, natural peanut butter to this recipe. I'm also going to be adding some maple syrup for sweetness. You do have the option to use some honey here, even some coconut sugar would work, but of course, I love maple syrup, being Canadian and all. And finally, I'm going to add just a splash of vanilla extract. I'll mix that all together until it's well combined, and then I'll add my old-fashioned oats to my bowl. Not all old-fashioned oats are actually gluten-free. You need to purchase ones that say gluten-free on the bag if you want to make sure that they haven't come into contact with any type of wheat. Once our oats are in the bowl, we are going to be using a little bit of elbow grease to stir this all together. If you want to make this a little bit easier, you can always heat your wet mixture up in the microwave for 15 to 20 seconds, just so it softens up a little bit and it makes it a little easier to stir. But if you want to avoid a trip to the gym, you can go ahead and do it just as it is. Once you've got your base dough made, you can add all sorts of tasty mix-ins to switch up the flavors. First, we'll be making a PB&J version by folding in some chopped peanuts. And I'm also adding, for my J in my PB&J flavoring, some dried fruit. In this case, I'm using dried cranberries because that's what I had on hand, but dried strawberries, blueberries, or cherries would all work really well here. Once that's all mixed up, you'll know because your bicep will start to be very sore. All you need to do is transfer these cookies to a parchment-lined baking sheet. Now to help these bake a little more evenly, I'm going to use a fork to press them down in the center so they spread out a little bit, and then I will get them into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for between 13 and 15 minutes, or until they are just golden on the underside. You'll want to let them cool for 5 minutes before devouring them, but trust me, they are totally worth the wait. Next, we're celebrating one of my very favorite flavor combinations, banana coconut. Very tropical tasting, which I love. So I'm going to once again be combining my mashed bananas with my peanut butter, maple syrup, and vanilla extract. We'll stir in our oats at that point, and then once our dough is formed, we can fold in some banana chips that I've just roughly chopped, some shredded coconut. You can use unsweetened or sweetened. Obviously, it's totally up to you. And then if you want to take that coconut flavor even a step further, you can add in a splash of coconut extract. You can usually find this in the baking aisle at most supermarkets where the vanilla extract is. It just has a really coconutty flavor that I find really complimentary. Once that's all mixed together, we will scoop these onto our parchment-lined baking sheet, press them down, and then get them into the oven. And when they come out, they are loaded with tropical flavor that is simply too tasty to resist. If you think PB&J is delicious, wait until you try PB&C, peanut butter and chocolate breakfast cookies. It starts again with the very same base. We have got our banana in the bowl. To that, I'll add my peanut butter, maple syrup, and vanilla extract. And then at this point, because these are going to be chocolate cookies, I'm also going to stir in some cocoa powder. Once that's all well combined, we can stir in our oats, and then we will fold in our chocolate chips and some chopped peanuts. If you wanted to make a chocolate almond version of this cookie, of course you could swap in some almond butter and some chopped almonds instead of peanuts. That would be really tasty too. Now I kind of wish I had done that, but I digress. Once this is all mixed up, we can get it onto our baking sheet and into the oven. Once again, 350 degrees Fahrenheit for between 13 and 15 minutes. And you, my friends, will have cookies for days. Each of these recipes yields about 18 cookies. So not only do they make a great on-the-go morning snack, but they also freeze really beautifully. So don't be afraid to make a nice big batch. They will last in the freezer for up to 3 months. I really hope you will give these 3 tasty ideas a try, and if you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Snapchat me a photo, because I always love seeing your kitchen creations. Keep in mind, the full recipes are in the description box below, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.